And we love salute. What's good? Y'all already know what time it is with me. Do me a favor before you walk in my house, take your shoes off, dust your feet off, sit back and enjoy the ride. And remember to do all that typical YouTube shit, like share, subscribe, donate if you fuck with your boy. Happy, uh, what's this, like Thanksgiving Eve or some shit? Hope everybody enjoy their holiday. You know, it's the traditional day before Thanksgiving love, you know, because I ain't really a big holiday type person, but, you know, I always support family getting together, you know what I mean? I think people people can decide whether or not what they believe in or what they like and all that whenever they decide. I think to ruin that for other people, you know what I mean, is because it means something different to everybody. To some people, it just means family and shit. You know what I mean? Getting together with family, not the actual typical shit that everybody say they do. You know what I mean? But anyway, get to the point because this gonna be real quick. You know what I mean? Couple things, and then we gonna get out of here. So I had to get up mad early. Um, it was a shooting in Chesapeake, Virginia that honestly, I ain't going front. I didn't even know about until I got a couple phone calls about it. I didn't even know. But I got a couple of phone calls. Shout out to y'all. You know what I mean? Um, but one of the things I want to speak on is the case of the young lady that was in Mexico. I'm not going to show that video. I'm pretty sure everybody done saw that video by now. I wouldn't put that shit up on my channel for now. Um, a lot of the people that's choosing to report on that shit, like, and that's my thing with this shit, like, people feel like that they can just make up stories and narratives based on their opinion. You absolutely know nothing at all, have no idea who's who was there, who wasn't there, what happened outside of the minute and 47 seconds of a video. Don't nobody know what happened before or after. None of that shit. You know what I mean? That's always my thing. That's why I typically stay away from content like that. For one, that's not my bag. But for the people who do choose to do shit just because it's trending, because a lot of y'all, like people that do those stories, and that's their content, cool, so be it, right? But for the people who just jump on it because it bring numbers, it bring views and shit like that, and come up with the most outlandish shit or saying whatever narrative that people then came up with from watching these videos or whatever the people then said. That shit is tasteless because at the end of the day, it don't even become about the person anymore. Hey, Jasmine, how are you doing? Happy holidays to you. Been a long time. Hope all is well. Um, hope all is well. I I just think this is tasteless. They don't want as far as saying that the young lady that she was fighting in the video is a man and all that. What's up, Bo? What's good with you? Like I just be watching, right? Like I watch different shit like that, right? I watch, you watch cause let's keep it a buck, right? A lot of stories get pushed not because of national media, but because of us. All right. Like last year. Was it last year? I want to say it was last year. Rapper from Dipset, 40 Cal, daughter was missing. Nobody was really talking about it or reporting on it because 40 Cal was not a big name or whatever, but his daughter was missing, right? Nobody was really talking about it, especially the national media. The local media at the college she went to in Buffalo, they was talking about it. TMZ didn't even report on it. Shit like that, right? So the minute that it actually started catching steam on Twitter and YouTube and other places, then here come the national media. That's typically how things work now. Similar with this story, because I think this shit happened like a month ago or some shit. Whatever, maybe happened like a month ago. I could be wrong, but I know it was a minute ago when it actually happened. But the things that people are saying, like, oh my God, that have absolutely no way. Like, I get the whole detective shit, but at the end of the day, if it's about getting justice for the young lady's family or whatever it may be, those fake narratives don't help at all. Just report I don't know why people just can't. Hey, Coco, salute my sister. What's good with you? I don't know why people just can't report the facts that's out there. Just the facts. Give their opinion. Distinguish opinion from fact. Right? Like what's his name? I can't even think of dude's name. But somebody and this is the crazy thing. Like, no, people can say anything, right? Like, nobody knew whoever this person was on Twitter, whether they even knew the gentleman that was involved in the thing or not. Nobody knows. Nobody know if this person went to school with him, but the young lady alleged back when they was in high school that now y'all tell me if this makes sense or not. I'm not saying that it happened, didn't happen. I just kind of want a second opinion, right? The young lady tweets, "Wow, years later, he's accused of murder. When back in high school, he I hate misquoting shit, but I'm just gonna say it this way. He allegedly recorded her. This is like the weirdest shit. He allegedly recorded her having sex with her then boyfriend, threatened that he was going to put it on Twitter if she didn't have sex with him and his friends. She did it. He put it on Twitter anyway. That's what she put on it. The content creator that reported this didn't say alleged, didn't say none of that shit. Said it like, did he know for a fact this person went to school with these people? Nigga, you don't even live in North Carolina. You don't know who the fuck that was. You have no idea. Now, again, I'm not saying that whatever that was didn't happen. Oh, and I'm leaving shit out. And he got suspended because of it. But it wasn't no charges pressed because somebody grandmother with money paid to hide the kid. Now the content creator didn't make this up. This is something that somebody actually tweeted out, right? But shit like this happens all the time. People, before you know it, whoever that person is, will be trying to charge people for interviews and shit without any inkling of proof, whether they even went to school with this person, went to school, the high school with this person, or whatever the fuck. Or they could have. I don't fucking know. But it's a certain way. And I know ain't nobody went to school for this shit or had training for this shit or don't know how to be technically know how to really be a content creator or investigative journalist, right? I know a lot of people don't know what they're doing, but But I'm not saying that they shouldn't have reported that, but it's a certain way you supposed to report that. You ain't supposed to report that like it's a fact. Can't do that. That's what the fuck got Tasha K in trouble. It's the only reason why she lost that case. People can feel however they want to feel about that, right? But it's certain things that protect you as a journalist. There's certain words you can use. It's certain way that you can say something that could protect you to where it can seem like satire, because journalists are protected under satire and the other shit I can't think of right now. There's a certain way you can say shit. You can even say something in jest, right? And you ain't even gotta say, when you say it in jest, you ain't gotta use words like alleged or anything like that. But if you saying it in jest and it come across tongue in cheek, and it comes across as jokingly, which will fall under satire, then it saves you. But these motherfuckers is like, yo, what the fuck? It's like 2,000 videos on this shit everywhere. And every I'm telling you, you put in that young lady name. Every video, it's even tarot card readers. It's even tarot card readers saying that they spoke to the young lady. I'm not laughing at the situation, because the situation is a serious situation. I'm laughing at what people do for attention in the name of content in a motherfucking view. That is ridiculous. I couldn't even see myself doing that shit. And some of those people probably even believe that that's what the fuck they're doing. I'm not going to say all of them, but to see people that's not even their content lane jump in that shit for a case like that serves with a family grieving and going through what they going through, that everywhere they look, it's the same video. And honestly, the second video shit, I don't think is a second video. I don't think nobody is ever going to see a second video. I don't think the parents saw a second video. I think it's the same exact video, from the way the dad described the shit. I think it's the same fucking video. It's no second video, third video, fourth video. It's just that video. That's it. I just think that's the whole shit is fucked up. The whole case is fucked up. It looked fucked up. The way people covering it is fucked up. It is some people covering it with class and just reporting the shit, giving their opinion where you can tell the difference between the two. You know what I mean? Which I don't have a problem with that. But that other shit, eventually, like right now, this shit is wild, wild west. But eventually, a lot of that shit is going to stop. Hey, Rain. A lot of that shit is going to stop. But anyway, moving the fuck on. Hitman Holla is done with his I guess battle rap program, Bags and Bodies. And the culture seems to be upset because it's going on a streaming service that nobody has heard of before. Now, I do have an issue with that, not because it's going on a streaming service that we haven't, not because it's going on a streaming service, but the streaming service that it's going on. See, shit like that doesn't make sense to me. And this is not me caping for URL or riding for URL, because I know every time I say something, it just sounds like it's URL or nothing else. But I find it ironic that one of the battle rappers that had an issue with the app, with the URL app, comes up with a show concept and puts it on a app that the main complaint was people, this class of people don't get the exposure, and then you go and do the same thing. But why not? Why not? And I will never understand this. I don't know why we operate this way. And maybe I just think differently. But the first thing that I would have did, the first phone call I would have made, right, wrong, or indifferent, would have been to URL. You know why? You know why? You know why this makes sense? Because you know what's not going to happen. This is what's not going to happen. It's over 4 million battle rap fans in general. 4 million, about 4 million, give or take, right? Only 700,000 of them have the URL app. And most of them are real hardcore battle rap fans. The rest of the motherfuckers are casual fans. None of them, that casual side, is going to get that other streaming service that they got to pay for or whatever. That 700,000, they got the URL app, which I think is 800,000 now, getting close to 900,000 people that use the app now, right? What's not going to happen is all those people are going to get that other app. Some of them will. But what's going to happen is a blogger or two will get them. Somebody that's going to rip and steal it and put it up on the website. I give it a week. I guarantee it. I'll put money on it. It's going to be on some website somewhere where everybody going to go and watch it. But the perfect marriage of that. But everybody always want to go. And I get the whole thing of doing it on your own shit. Right? I get the thing. I want to be a boss. And I'm going to be the boss. I get all that. But you have to understand the market. I think Zeus would have been more realistic, but he said the name. He said that I don't know if you've seen what's his name? It's very few bloggers and battle rap I even fuck with or respect outside of Jay Black and Henny Man. It's the name of it on there. I can't remember the name of it. And I don't know why, but I never heard of this shit before. And I'm pretty sure that they gave him a bag for the content. And then he probably got some residuals on the back end for how many people that sign up for the shit based on them signing up for that particular purpose or whatever. And this is where a lot of times we fuck up all the time. This is where we fuck up at, right? We will jump on the bag and miss an opportunity, right? Because two things could have happened in this particular situation. Now, everybody can complain about the URL app all they want. People can complain about that shit, tell their fucking ears pop off. From the beginning of it, always understood why they did it. You niggas was just used to getting this shit for free on YouTube. Battle rap does not make a lot of money on YouTube because of the language, people. Anybody that's a content creator should understand that. You only get the high end of the pay if you have family-oriented content. People that cuss and shit like that and use certain terminologies and words, you get the lower end, right? Which to give people an idea of how this shit work for some people that might not be familiar, so it can make a little more sense when you looking at a battle that might have 2, 3, 4 million views. Somebody that does family, a content creator does family oriented content might get upwards of $8 and some change per 1,000 views. Right? $8 and some change per 1,000 views. Some can even get as high as 10, but $8 and some change per 1,000 views. Then you have the lower end of that. You have a mid version of that. Battle rap falls in the lower end of that, unless they end up getting, like when URL used to have exclusive vodka and all that shit that they promoted and shit like that. Unless you find endorsements from somebody, advertisement outside of the partnership with YouTube, that's the amount of money we're talking about. You think of the amount of money that's spent on the battlers, think about the amount of money that's spent on a venue, security, and all that shit. Ask yourself, how beneficial is it for a league to stay on a streaming service where their content, their battle content, is exclusively on there for free? And hardly anybody is buying the pay-per-view. 0.1 share. 0.1 share is what the pay-per-views was doing. How much it costs to do a pay-per-view, to stream a pay-per-view these days, it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Exactly right. And that's why I don't know why Rem didn't maybe talk to Twitch. You know what I mean? Maybe she didn't want to do the caffeine thing. I get it, but maybe she should talk to Twitch or some shit like that. And maybe partner up with something like that. But that other shit, all that, I just don't understand. Like, honestly, in all the leagues, and I'm not saying everybody should be D-Riding URL. That's not what I'm saying. But that's an established brand. That's already an established app, right? That already has enough people on there, right? You make a deal with them. You put the content on there. You make a deal with them for the content to be on there, where you lease the content to them for a certain period of time, right? Because you can do that. I don't think people understand this, but this is how the game works now, right? It's the reason why you ever go on Netflix and you'll see an old show on there that got like 10 seasons, and they might only got 3 or 4 seasons on it. You know why? Because those other seasons was leased out to Hulu or fucking Amazon or somebody else for a certain period of time. So what I'm saying is, to make a long story short and the fat girl skinny, could lease out the content to them for a certain period of time for people to go and to watch it over there, make money off of them for leasing it to them. Because Netflix and them motherfuckers, they're not ready for they're not ready. These other streaming services, the bigger streaming services, not ready for battle rap yet. They're not ready for it yet because it hasn't produced outside of, because that's the point of the app. Let me break it down for you. The reason for the app, the reason for the URL app was to build a solid foundation to show another streaming service that this is how many people that love and support this content. It's like WWE is the perfect example I can give. WWE, they did their app 5, 6 years ago. WWE got rid of their app. That app no longer exists in the United States. You know why it no longer exists in the United States? Because NBC Peacock purchased the content that was on that app. Now all that content is on the Peacock streaming service. So now WWE don't have to worry about dealing with an app, doing none of that shit. They have somebody else to deal with it. And the only thing they have to do is provide the content. But in order to get the bag, they had to show by using data, because how this shit work now is not just about numbers, it's about people following you. Are people willing to go wherever your content is? And that's what the app proved. That's what URL is attempting to do. Build up a nice following, nice library of content that somebody can add to their streaming service, and the work is over for you. You know what I mean? Like that. That's it. That's the whole point. Yeah, it's you're right, man. It's not I don't get why. That's the thing that I don't get with the Hitman shit, right? Like the style and the way that he did the show. I originally thought that, and you said the name, I think it's Zeus or whatever it is. I thought it would go there because that's like the reality beacon app, right? I thought that that's where it would go. But I guess these people probably offer more money. I don't think it's going to go. Um, and this will be trial and error. It's going to bring it on himself. I honestly believe, like, if it was me, I wouldn't have told nobody anything yet. What I would have did is whatever the media got together for, and they presented to the media that 90-minute package that they put together for the battle rap media and some of the battle rappers that showed up to that movie theater, that should have dropped on YouTube. You know why that should have dropped on YouTube? That should have dropped on YouTube, and at the end of it, then wherever it was going to go, it should have had the date that it was going to be there, because now you're building anticipation. You done fucked up because now it's going somewhere that nobody is familiar with. We don't know how the fuck to get it. It don't come stock on fucking cell phones and shit. A large percentage of battle rap fans are alpha millennials and Generation X's, which means a bunch of motherfuckers is not going to want to go through a whole lot of trouble of looking for some shit. That's why caffeine just started doing well. Now, the only reason why caffeine started doing well is because motherfuckers was why the battles are free. People started helping people on how to do the shit and all that bullshit because people didn't even want to go through that shit. YouTube is always the easy way. YouTube comes on everything, your phone, your TV. You ain't got to go through much to get to it. It's easy to use. Shit, my fucking my brother don't know how to use shit but YouTube. He just started doing that. He was still listening to CDs. Like, why are you listening to mixtapes? You could just in the fucking streaming service. Somebody don't want to give up his information. Nigga, what? What are you talking about? It's 2022. Who the fuck is still listening to CDs? But anyway, Anyway, I don't know. We shall see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it do well. I think all the leagues. I feel the um I feel the same way about battle rap that I feel about comic book movies. I I might not be a fan of DC, um, but I want to see all comic book movies do well. Um, that just like with battle rap, I wish the other leagues will understand how to do business, and act like a business, and decide if you want to be a blogger or a league. Can't be both. Got to be one or the other. Like that shit makes no sense to me. You do fucking 3 hour blogs about a contract situation with you and a battle rapper. I would never do business with you again. I don't understand that the same. I would never. It's no way I would do business with somebody that the minute something happened, or maybe I got locked up and couldn't call or some shit like that, and I didn't make the battle, and your ass tweeting about me not showing up to the battle and then do a damn 3 hour blog about me not answering the phone. That ain't nobody fucking business. Stop booking battles until you got a pure confirmation. Like the fuck? Like I don't. Business is business. I don't think most of them realize that is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that URL is perfect or none of that shit. I'm just saying it's an existing brand. I don't get why more people don't use a resource that's sitting right there in front of them that already has 700,000 users. Already has 700,000 users. You know, I thought the whole point. Um, I haven't watched it yet, Rain. He sent me the link to the battle. Told me to check it out because he said he wanted to do a interview soon. I told him I didn't know when I was gonna have time to do an interview, but I'm gonna watch it though, and then I'm gonna holler at him. How'd he do? Did he do all right? Because even though I'm not a big Sharon fan and shit, that's a hard walk for just about anybody. Especially somebody of his caliber. I think that's his first battle in a minute, if I'm not mistaken. First big battle. I think he had a couple home after he healed from the shooting and shit when he got shot a couple months ago. That's good. Where's the stock rise? I want to see him back. I want to see him on the big. I know he feel like I know all these battle rappers feel like they worth so much, but I don't know. Maybe I look at business different. You know what I mean? This is like the dude J2 tweeted out to the battle rappers, "Know your worth." He ain't battling on URL no more. Nigga. And when I say this, I don't want it to come across like mean and shit. But honestly, what the fuck has he done? I get people supposed to feel like they deserve more. We all feel like that, right? But realistically, and being self-aware, what the fuck has J2 done? He's not even mid-tier. You lucky they paying for you to get to a battle. You lucky they paying for a hotel or Airbnb for you to stay into battle. You should be driving to battle. You shouldn't even be being paid yet. Period. If it was me, I wouldn't give you shit yet. You ain't done nothing. And if it has something to do with you being one of the first battle rappers of the LBGTQ community, whatever the alphabet motherfuckers, whatever they calling themselves these days, if that's the stick, then why is not showing up in the numbers? You had battles on other leagues off of URL. That if anybody looked at those numbers, I don't see what are we talking about. You don't have a million views, nothing to be talking about some worth. Like, niggas is weird. Nobody's gonna give. Maybe RBE might give you a bag just because of where you came from, because that's the type of shit they do over there. But other than that, and that's still even like, and this gonna sound like hate, but I'm just saying, get people should go get their bag. I'm not saying motherfuckers shouldn't get their bag, but what does it do if they not going to position themselves to homegrown their own talent, which is look like that's what they're attempting to do now, which they should have been doing, and the only reason why they're attempting to do it now because they spent so much money on battles like Hitman versus Cassidy and shit like that that didn't get no fucking return, that almost closed that motherfucker down, but ain't nobody gonna talk about that, but it almost closed that motherfucker down. Cause shit like that didn't get no return, but no high pay-per-view numbers, none of that shit. So now they want to do some grooming and home team shit, and maybe they can take them and build them into something that people might pay to come see. But how you get to see your worth as a league is put together a card of motherfuckers that's not names from nowhere else, just a bunch of names, and see how the venue do. Fuck a pay-per-view, fuck YouTube, see how the fucking venue do. You know what I mean? Remy learning like this shit not as easy as like she's really getting to see that this is not as easy. And I'm not saying that I think she thought it was going to be easy, but I think she's starting to understand why the women haven't been able to receive the same type of money as the men as of yet. I think she's starting to see that a lot of leagues lose. She hasn't made money off of Chrome 23 yet. It probably would be a couple of years before she even get a return on her investment. You know what I mean? I think it's a good idea of the way she got the making sure that they look good, that she's got hand makeup people and all that shit. But that's all extra money. Ain't no other league doing that shit. Not Queen of the Ring, not URL, not RB. None of them doing that shit. That's extra money. That had to come out of their money. That's why ain't none of them other leagues doing that. That's why ain't none of them leagues doing that. They're like, look, I paid you to rap. I don't give a fuck what you got on. I don't care. You cover this bitch with some suspenders and some motherfucking shorts on, long as you get up this motherfucker and rap. You know what I mean? But I want this shit to do good. I just think that she needs to consult with some of the people that been doing it for a while. She need to get some of the mainstays when it comes to the visuals and audio in battle rap. microphones, all that shit. Like somebody need to give her Avocado's number or fucking JB or what's the dude that used to shoot for URL years ago? What the fuck is your name? Same shot, one shot, somebody shot, whatever the fuck his name was. This shot, something shot, close up, some shit like that. Whatever the fuck his name was. She need to get somebody like that. That understands how to shoot for battle rap, understand how the microphones work, what microphones to use, sound check, all that shit, because it's different from show shit, from regular rapping shit. It's different from when she battle rap on Fight Club. None of that shit is the same. Oh, Avocado working with her now? Oh, okay. So she should be good. Somebody hooked them up, which is cool. Cause his relationship with URL wasn't gonna I don't think that was gonna be reconciled. I think he was still supposed to shoot like the rooftop shit when that came back. But as far as the other shit that went on, I think she thought which I get the visual side to it. I think she thought that if she make them look the part, it's similar to like the thing with the WNBA, right? Like I think that she thought if she could make them look better, more people would watch, more men will watch, more men would respect. But the battle rap fans are gonna be battle rap fans. If you ain't got names on there, especially more importantly with the ladies than even with the men. If it's not names on that card, it doesn't matter how good the rumors say that the battle is. If it's not names involved that people know, they're not watching that shit. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. And then getting them to promo properly is important. A lot of, and this is for a lot of the battle rappers in general, not even just the girls. The guys just get away with it because especially if you on URL and shit, URL becomes the brand, the stage, so anything attached to them, people fucking go to when they come to a city, they showing up to the venue any fucking way. A lot of them don't like Ad ain't never promoted shit. Only time he talk shit is when he drunk. He ain't never promoted. Rum don't promote like that. I can go on and on and on. Of people that don't really promote. I get why they don't. I get why some battle rappers don't. Right? Because the battle rappers that do constantly promote end up being the bad guys in battle rap. I.e. Surf and a couple of other people, Calico, when it's hard for people to look at it like he's setting up a potential battle. He not really he not really this is not an indictment against y'all. He just he's setting up a potential bag for a battle through this interview or through this tweet or through this or whatever. You know what I mean? And then it's the pressure holding up to all that shit that you done said leading up to that battle. I think that's why a lot of people stay away from it. But back to the girls got to do a better job at promoting outside of Yoshi and maybe Hustle. But with them, it don't even be, they do more talking, and I take them back out of that shit because they don't really promote neither. They do all they talking when they ain't got a battle coming up. So I don't even include them. Yoshi might talk a little bit more when she got a battle coming up too. But Hustle don't really say shit when she got a battle coming up. She talk when ain't no fucking battle. I mean, but they got to do a better job at that. It's a lot that they got to work on to get uh female battle rap where her vision is for it to go. You know what I mean? And some of it is delivery for some of the girls. Some of it is them getting used to the reaction. Like Jazz has came a long way. A long, long, long way. And Jazz always been nice. Always been nice. Jazz can rap. But Jazz problem, like so many official problem, and I can keep on naming all of them, even Hustle. Problem is always when the crowd responds, then the delivery. All you gotta do is watch. The perfect example of this is Hustle versus uh what's shorty name? God damn it. Gaddis. Hustle versus Gaddis is the perfect example of that. Anybody watching this, if you ain't never seen it, if you ain't never watched battle rap a day in your life, watch the first round of that battle, and you'll say to yourself, I see exactly what Street is talking about. Like Gaddis literally was responding to her own bars after, like, what are you doing? Rap. Half of that shit they wasn't even responding to. She's literally stopping every time. Hustle was getting frustrated and shit. And I get it. But back to what I was saying, it's I think it's a lot of little shit like that that they need to work on. I don't think Vixen has a problem with that. I don't think Vixen has a problem with that. I didn't watch any of her older battles, so I don't know if she ever had an issue with that. But she doesn't have an issue with that. Jazz doesn't anymore. Jazz writing has gotten a whole lot better as far as how she set her shit up, how she doesn't have a lot of wasted shit, which is very important. Um, that's how she's beating people. Honestly, that's how she's beating people. You know that's how the same thing would happen to Cortez people. I can't even Misfit. The same thing would happen to Misfit because even though I fuck with Fit and Fit can rap, Fit like Cortez say a lot of unnecessary shit. Right? A lot of people get to the point, and Jazz got to the point where she started to understand, and it's kind of the same, similar to the point that Surf reached about maybe a year or so ago, where the rounds was more condensed. Rounds was more condensed, like a lot of, and I know y'all heard me, Rain. I know you heard me say this before, but um, Surf versus Cal, Surf versus can't really count Surf versus Twerk because Twerk ain't really get a chance to get too much out. But Surf versus Cal, shit, Surf versus Gotti. Cal had more material than Surf. Cal actually rapped longer than Surf did. It don't seem like it though when you watch the battle. Same thing in Geechee Gotti battle. Gotti rapped longer than Surf. Don't seem like it when you watch it. It seemed pretty even, but in total, you take the crowd reaction out of Surf shit, it probably was 2:45, maybe 3 minutes. But that's because along with the narrative, because it's still a narrative in there, it's not like it's random punchlines. It's still connecting words, connecting bars, it's still stacking and double entendres, all that shit, but it's more condensed. It's condensed. You know what I mean? Um, I don't think Rock would. I don't think Rock would ever do that shit. I don't think Rock would do that shit only because of the way um, Rock rap, the way he build up his shit. I don't think he ever condense his rounds, but Rock still don't have no wasted words. Every word he uses, it's a purpose for that word. It connects to something else. He didn't get no credit for it. And I very seldom even say it because me saying it, it really holds no weight. But if people really listen to the way Rock structure his bars, it's not a wasted word in there. It all connects. It all builds to something. He don't say a word for the sake of that word rhyming with the next word or the punchline. That word makes sense in the grand scheme of whatever narrative he is painting or going into the punch. That's why a lot of times the setup get a reaction because people not used to that. Right, because it's sexy now to say random shit and then have a hard ass punchline when the setup really was trash or really didn't make no sense. But people go crazy for the punch. Twerk started that bullshit. He do it well though, but he started that shit. But everybody else doing it, and God, he got some of that shit. And before I move on off the battle rap shit and get to the last topic or why the fuck I'm here in the first place. Because I don't think I got a chance to speak on this yet, intentionally. Mook versus Gotti. My opinion on the battle. Mook won clear, but Mook didn't win clear for the reasons why I think everybody is saying. Because something happened that nobody is saying anything about, and I don't know why. All right. And I don't think the crowd was biased because Mook even got booed. I think Mook did a good job of setting the narrative up that was going to work in New York. Gotti came in there with kind of wanting the crowd to be against him, even by what he had on. But that's besides the point. His material wasn't that good. His material wasn't that good at all. And it wasn't clean. It wasn't clean at all. And maybe a lot of people ain't watched that battle 3 or 4 times like I did, but his material was not clean at all. He even fucking choked. And he has done that before in a couple battles, where he had freestyle his way out of it. And a lot of times people don't notice this shit because he good at covering it up and freestyle. The difference is Mook, motherfuckers gonna say what they want to say about Mook. I've been critical of Mook, right? But I don't give a fuck what you say about Mook or how we feel about him or whatever the fuck. The one thing that you're gonna get with Mook is every round is gonna be clean as fuck. This nigga rapped for 20 something minutes on RBE versus Verb. Didn't stumble over a word, didn't forget a word or nothing. And when you going against something like that, when you going against something, regardless of whether every bar hit or not, whether or not we like every bar or not, this is why it is hard to beat Mook. It is hard to beat Mook because of that shit. Because of how clean that shit is. It's one of the reasons why it's hard to beat Rock as well. Because both of them very suddenly stumble or fucking choke or whatever. But Gotti shit wasn't clean. The material wasn't that great. He had a couple of joints in there, but it was some things that he could have did to isolate Mook from that New York crowd, similar to what Verb did. The reason why a lot of people left that battle with Mook versus Verb being debatable and some people feeling like Verb won is because of the narrative that Verb set from the start. He made the crowd, because that people forget that that battle happened in New York. It happened at what used to be that fucking club that fucking RBE always battled, that URL used to have Bfoot in, and then damn, I can't think of the name of the fucking club. Damn. But fuck it, that don't matter. The name of the club don't matter. That battle happened there. The narrative that Verb set about Mook turning his back on the culture, being greedy in the culture, not giving back to the culture, not putting the culture on when he had the podcast, not having anybody from the culture on the podcast, shit like that. Shit like that, right? The crowd from the minute he started with that narrative, the crowd was fucking with Verb because he was saying the shit that we used to say as fans when it came to Mook. Because if we're gonna be honest, back then all of them that battled, when they got deals, they walked away from the culture, right? That's just like if Briz ever come back, and I could give two fucks if Briz come back at this point or not. My personal opinion, I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't care. I am done. I don't think he should even be allowed to speak on the fucking culture. Nigga, you got into a little fight and you ran away from the culture, turned your back on the culture, but you want to always get on fucking Instagram and talk shit about something. Is you gonna battle or is you not gonna battle? The fuck? I don't give a fuck. I don't even know why everybody else give a fuck about him coming back battling. But if he battled, fuck that. And I know why a lot of people don't want to battle him, his first battle back, because that just coming back shit, that first round, just about anything he say is gonna hit, right? But that can be neutralized. And you ain't even gotta bring up the fight. A motherfucker don't have to bring up the fight at all. All they gotta do is shoot the point home that after you ran out that door, you ran as far away from the culture as you could. And that could be the narrative every single round, all the way through, while everybody else that was involved in that altercation, RIP to his homie, outside of him, everybody else stood in front of bars that had something to do with that fucking fight. Even Rock, and Rock looked the worst in that fight altercation. You know what I mean? Rock looked the worst. But unlike everybody else, I understood why Rock didn't get involved in that fight. I understood that. You know, everybody else can think and say what they want to say. I understood it ain't got nothing to do with him being from the town. If I thought it was some sucker ass shit, I would say it's some sucker ass shit. But to be honest, you talking about somebody. You got to put shit in perspective, right? Even though we cool and we boys and we on the same side and we supposed to be part of the same crew, you just got here. I've been knowing this nigga here and his dad for 7, 8 years. That's my man's in them. That's the shit that people don't understand, because everybody see Cal talking shit, see Rock talking shit, Surf talking shit. They fuck with each other. They fuck with each other like that, like that. Cal, Surf, Rock, Hitman, I'm missing, it's somebody else, but all of them fuck with each other like that. That's why he didn't get involved in that fight. These niggas damn near came up together. You just got there. Now, I'm not saying that Briz ain't supposed to feel some type of way about that shit. I'm talking about the shit that the bloggers said afterwards and the shit that the fans said afterwards. Um, I think people lose track of those relationships. Shotgun Suge is another one. It might don't seem like it because they always in front of us talking shit to each other that it don't seem like it, but they fuck with each other hard body. Arsenal too. Like that shit was deeper than that situation that should have never happened in the first fucking place. But I could give two fucks. Back to the Mook shit. Mook won clear every single round. I don't think it's been a that a round could be debated. I see some people saying round two. I get it, but I don't think it was enough. Gotti material wasn't. I think he slept on Mook. Yeah, right, Rain. It's been 3 years. Like a real solid 3 years. Like, what the fuck? Like, people get into fights every day, B. Like, what the fuck are we talking about here? Rock battle right after that. You know how many times Rock then stood in front of somebody talking that bullshit about that goddamn fight and him holding the door? T-Top then stood in front of that shit with bars about him falling down and shit. Even Rexton battled. Like, what? And you don't, like, I don't get it. And then to say that we're the ones that turned out back on him is the weirdest shit to me. That's weird. The people that express their opinion about the situation that happened within the confines of battle rap, I get the shit that people, you signed up to battle. People gonna say some of the most outlandish shit. I wouldn't have necessarily said that shit because I know the mentally the and Mook probably shouldn't even have battled with his mom. That was like 5-6 months after his mom passed. He probably shouldn't even have battled, but probably for him, that probably was the most normal thing to do at that time. You know what I mean? That probably was the most normal thing. He probably shouldn't have battled though. But for them to act like they didn't know when the whole culture knew, everybody knew. Everybody knew. All the bloggers knew. Most of the battle rappers was in the comments, in the fucking Facebook group, on fucking Twitter, everywhere. When he first put it up, T-Top was one of the first people to comment. So you motherfuckers can't say y'all didn't know. Y'all knew. And he didn't even do nothing when that shit happened. That's the shit that people forget. He didn't do nothing when they first said it. They said it twice, actually. He didn't do anything. And you can even hear Cal saying to him, I'm on wherever you on. You can hear Cal telling him that shit because Mook walked back and forth and then he sat on the speaker after they said the second time. And then you hear Cal say, I'm on wherever you on. Just let me know. And you hear Mook saying, I just want rap. And then that's when this nigga started doing that weird shit. for no reason. Like, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I still don't understand that shit till this day. Like, what the fuck was he doing? What the fuck was you on that day? I never seen him act like that before on stage. He's always animated and shit with his little bullshit, but he never act like that. Like, that was some weird shit. To me, Mook is a corny, and I don't want this to come across disrespectful. To me, Mook is a corny rap nerd nigga that just happens to come across cool, right? But he really just a rap nerd, right? He's a real rap nerd. In that moment on that stage, way before the fight happened, in a situation where he should have looked cooler than Mook. That's the point that I'm trying to make at the end of the day. He should have looked cooler than Mook. Not Cal so much, but cooler than Mook. It didn't come across that way because he was doing some weird shit. He was on some sucker shit. And nobody ever says that, but he was on some sucker shit. Most people would have did something to him because you was doing weird shit for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, Mook is, and to me, I always looked at Mook like that. I don't think, and that's not to say he's a sucker or nothing. It's just some people that been rapping like their whole life. Like, some people never really got a chance to go outside or no shit like that. Like Wayne, like Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is another one. He's a rap nerd. Eminem is a rap nerd. That's not to say that they didn't have no street experience and did no fuck shit outside or no shit like that. But you can tell, like, Rex can rap. Rex was better than Mook at their peak. The difference is because Rex was always on some bullshit or in something or in some type of trouble and had issues with rounds and rapping because he had 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Rex had bad performances here and there. We can say what the fuck we want to say about Mook, but Mook rounds have always been clean. This nigga had 5-minute rounds, 5 rounds versus Iron Solomon. Flawless. You know what I mean? Like, people forget that. I think everybody underestimated Mook. I think Gotti underestimated Mook. I don't think he prepared. Like, some of that shit sounded like he came up with that shit the day before or something. It wasn't thought out at all. None of it was. It didn't make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make sense at all because it's a lot of it's so much that Mook has been through within the culture, outside the culture, that hasn't been touched on in battles, that he could have done in that battle, that has not been said to Mook before. You know what I mean? Because, of course, that wasn't going to happen in the Tay-Rock battle. That's not Rock's lane. Rock doesn't do narratives or none of that shit. He just gunbar niggas to death. That's his thing. He going to die by that. Is sing or swim with what he do. He's not going to create no narratives. He's not going to do none of that shit. But he had an opportunity to do that and didn't do it. You know what I mean? All right, Rain. Enjoy your holiday. I'm about to get off here myself. I'm about to go sleep. I gotta be to work at fucking 4. Some bullshit. But yeah, I got Mook clear. Just because Gotti wasn't as good as when he battled Surf. He wasn't as good as when he battled Rock. And I think he lost both of those battles. They debatable, but I think he lost both of those battles. You know what I mean? Now I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. Y'all enjoy your holiday. I'll be back on his Sunday sometime. Me and Megas are still gonna do that annual King Disease review. It's a good fucking project for a rapper that's 50 something years old to have a fucking album that's number 5 on Billboard is fucking ridiculous. But he ain't relevant though. Yeah, okay. Y'all be easy. Enjoy y'all day. Like I said at the beginning of this, I'm not that big on holidays and shit like that. But I think any reason or any time for family to get together and enjoy each other, life is so fucking short to be able to enjoy family, especially these days when we're so we rely on technology to stay in contact with each other, which is different from the way things used to be, where families, and when I say families, not just you and your kids and your significant other, but your family spent more time together. Any reason for people to be able to do that, I would never knock that and get on here and talk about why we shouldn't be celebrating a holiday, even if I don't. I understand why we do. You know what I mean? But y'all be easy, enjoy. I do want to share this with y'all before I go. Even though I don't my ex-wife did some real shit the other day. She did some real shit. You know, I don't like her ass. She don't like me. She did some real shit. Make a long story short, uh, when we got our divorce 7 years ago, 8 years ago, I um when we did our own divorce decree, most of y'all probably heard this before. I signed everything over to her. Make it go quick. Property, cars, whatever. You don't need to get into the whole what it was. So the home, one of the homes in Maryland, that the first home we ever purchased in Maryland, um, she sold a couple of days ago, and it's her. She do whatever the fuck she want to do with it. You know what I mean? But she did some real shit. That was dope. Like I say, that was some dope shit because she ain't had to do what she did after she sold. And y'all can take that however you want to. But be easy, enjoy your holiday. You know what I mean? Look both ways when you crossing the street. All right? Be careful out here. Shit real. Man. That Chesapeake, Virginia shit was fucking crazy like that. I mean, shit like that. Like, it's a story on a YouTuber. Um, I'm gonna put the link in the description of that shit. A YouTuber a couple years ago uh did these videos like for a couple years leading up to right before he ended up doing what he did. Um which is eerie because I don't think nobody that watched the videos or even his family took this shit seriously. And he did something similar. I'm gonna put the link in there. Y'all can see this shit. Like it's this channel that talk about dark shit that happened on YouTube with YouTubers and all this other shit. Real interesting channel. But that story, and there's a couple of stories on there like that. But I'm gonna put the link in my community tab. But y'all be easy. I'm gonna get out of here. Let me y'all with this. All right.
like 5% out of 100. Through the lights, cameras, and action, glamour, glitters, and gold. I unfold the scroll, fancies the stampede the globe when I'm deceased. But in the beast, to rise like yeast, to conquer peace, leaving savages to roam in the streets, live on the run. Police paying me to give them my gun, trick my wisdom with the system that imprisoned my son. Smoke a gold leaf, all heat, nonchalantly, I'm graunchy, but things I do is real and never